Spicer is out. Sean Spicer is losing his job, but look who could replace him. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer is searching for his own replacement at the podium. This is part of a larger plan to shake up the White House communications, according to Politico. Watch Sean Spicer tear apart a reporter below.
A couple things on how and when exactly did the White House encourage her to testify?
Well, the letter that her attorney sent literally says that if we do not receive a response by March 27th at 10 a.m., I will conclude that the White House does not assert executive privilege over the matters with respect to hearings or otherwise. I don't think you can be any clearer than that.
And so you're saying now executive privilege does not...
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm literally, that's what she wrote. The action was, if you don't act, then we will assume the following. Great. I don't think that you can read that any other way. It was I'm sure, a very talented, he is a very talented lawyer and wrote it specifically for it. We read it that way and chose to not act because we have no problem with her testifying, plain and simple.
So executive privilege is not an issue for Elliott. Would it not have been an issue for Elliott testifying?
That's correct.
Following up, one issue. You want to add?
No, it's interesting. I mean, this is very clearly worded, and yet somehow you're asking me how to interpret that in any other way than literally reading plain English.
Interpret something else for me. Does the president still believe that climate change is a hoax?
I think you'll hear more today about the climate and what he believes. I think he understands. He does not believe that, as I mentioned at the outset, there's a binary choice between job creation, economic growth, and caring about the environment, and that's what we should be focusing on. I think at the end of the day, where we should be focusing on is making sure that all Americans have clean water, clean air, and that we do what we can to preserve and protect our environment.
So true. Last week, Spicer and Reince Priebus reached out to Laura Ingraham and Daily Mail editor David Martosco about taking over the role. Spicer and Priebus have had preliminary interviews with Ingraham and Martosco. Steve Bannon was in attendance, according to a White House official. Sarah Huckabee Sanders has filled in for Spicer and has the job of press secretary. Fox News' tweet, breaking: Spicer will likely no longer handle daily press duties, will instead oversee at POTUS administration's communications.
This just breaking right now, a big change coming for Sean Spicer's job at the White House. Our John Roberts has the breaking news for you right now. Hey, John.
Trish, good afternoon to you. This is something that's been in the works now for quite a while, a number of weeks, really since the time that James Comey was fired. The president believes that his communication shop kind of fell down in the job, even though they were asked to respond within about 45 minutes with a full national plan for rolling out that the president had fired the FBI director. The president was considering this over the course of his recent foreign trip to Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Italy. But now it looks like it's really well in the works, and that is that Sean Spicer will now no longer take on the role of press secretary, and at least on a day-to-day basis, he will actually receive a promotion. Right now, the flow chart of the White House really goes, you got the press shop over here, headed by the press secretary, then you got the communications shop over here, headed by a communications director. That was Mike Dubke, who you remember, Trish, resigned a few weeks ago. Sean Spicer has really been filling both roles in the interim, but now he'll be bumped up above that to a new position. They don't quite know what to call it just yet, but it will likely be at the level of a deputy chief of staff, and he will oversee both the press office and the communication shop. And this, the president believes, as is Sean Spicer and Reince Priebus, really plays to Sean Spicer's strength, because when he was at the RNC, when he was on Capitol Hill, he was always a behind-the-scenes player, working on strategy, as opposed to being the person who's out here every day ducking the slings and arrows of the media as they question him during the daily press briefing. So he will now move in the near future to a full-time behind-the-scenes role, even though the president still would like to see him come out every once in a while, and he may do that. So it's likely that we'll see Sarah Huckabee Sanders would not move into the full press secretary job, at least be at the podium more often, and then there will be a communications director as well who is appointed. So Spicer will be the overseer, again, at a deputy chief of staff level, over both the press shop and the communications shop. So for Spicer, it's a promotion, though a lot of people were looking at this as earlier, at least before this plan came out, as Spicer being shoved aside. I can tell you, Trish, that's definitely not the case. He's moving into a more elevated role, and one the White House and the President really believes plays to his strengths.
Let's send Spicer off with a big thank you. He has taken all the liberal bullets for us. Please give him the thanks he deserves. Share this right now and comment, thank you, Sean Spicer, for this amazing job that he has done. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.